Hello viewers, welcome to Ekam Academy. So, as part of the concept of the day series, we'll be discussing today about the making of Indian Constitution and many other interesting facts which one need to know from examination point of view regarding constitutional framework we'll understand in this particular video. So, why are we discussing this topic? So, recently, on the day of 26 November, we generally celebrate this day in India as the Constitutional Day or National Law Day, also called Samvidhan Divas, because we call Constitution in Hindi as Samvidhan, right? So that is the main occasion of 26 November, right? And Indian Constitution is a fundamental law of the land. So with respect to this, we have to know many other interesting facts. But before we start, we also should understand the Constitution was already adapted on this particular day by the constitutional framers. So if you can see here, the date mentioned in the preamble is 26 November 1949. So many times confusion will be there in this particular issue because most of the students gets confused from the date of enforcement and date of enactment. Date of enactment is 26th November 1949 because all the constitution got ready by this day and most of the constitutional provisions like even citizenship, election related provisions all came into force on this day itself, and even the constitutional framers also have signed this particular document, right? That means it is a date of enactment which is 26 November 1949, whereas date of enforcement is 26th January 1950. From that particular day, it was enforced. That means the provisions of the constitution came into force, right? So then why did we take 2 months of time is the main thing, right? So like in 1929, especially in Lahore session of INC presided by Jawaharlal Nehru, we have marked our first Independence Day on the occasion of passing of the Purna Swaraj resolution, which is also demanding for complete independence on 26th January 1930. That is the first official Independence Day we have celebrated pre-independence. But later on, the things have changed. Like we got independence on 15th August 1947. So we celebrated 15th August as the Independence Day and we started celebrating 26th January because of that historic connection with Purna Swaraj, and we started celebrating it as Republic Day or the day when the constitution came into force, right? So then we also have to understand the preamble is very much important, right? So if you see, this is the original preamble of the Indian Constitution. So if you see here, the constitution is saying we the people. We means the source of the constitution is the people of India, and they have said we wanted to solemnly resolve India into a sovereign democratic republic. That means the original constitution only has included the nature of Indian constitution as sovereign democratic republic. But you have to understand that socialist and secular terms were added by 42nd constitutional amendment in 1976. That means they were not part of original constitution, right? Then objectives of the constitution is to ensure justice. Justice in terms of social, economic, political justice. Liberty. Liberty means freedom in thought, belief, faith, worship, etc. Then we also have equality. Equality in terms of status and opportunity. At the same time, we also have fraternity. Fraternity assuring the dignity of the individual, unity of the nation, right? That means here unity and integrity is also the term. But this was not part of original constitution. It was also added by 42nd Amendment along with socialist and secular. Then they also have said in our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, we have adopted, enacted and give to ourselves. That means date of adoption, date of enactment is 26 November. Date of enforcement is 26 January. So this is the main thing which we have to understand right from the preamble of Indian Constitution. So when we talk about what is the importance of Constitution Day? So as we know, Constitution has to be respected at all the time, but most of the times what happens is we need to understand what is the significance and how long it has taken and what is all the effort that was put by the constitutional framers in enacting the Constitution. Also, there has to be some day dedicatedly. So for that reason, in 2015, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment has started marking 26 November as Constitution Day. That started from 2015 itself, right? So this is what you have to keep in mind, and it is by Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. Then after understanding this, we also need to understand Indian Constitution is the lengthiest constitution in the world, right? So it almost has taken 251 pages. So original constitution was written in 251 pages, and we also have to understand it is weighing around 3 kgs, right? So this is the original constitution book in size. So, and we also have to keep in mind original constitution has How many parts? If you know, let me know in the comment section. Then schedules, 8 schedules were originally part, but now we have 12 schedules. But when you talk about articles, so we have around 390 articles in the original constitution. But today, number-wise, if you see, around 460 articles we have in the present times, right? So that is what the constitution original provisions. But when we talk about the process of constitutional evolution, it all started in 1946. So when Cabinet Mission Plan was announced. So Cabinet Mission Plan has first approved the formation of Constituent Assembly to prepare the Constitution of India. So that was the origin, right? So we have this Constitution, Cabinet Mission Plan, and who are all the members of Cabinet Mission Plan? If you know, let me know in the comment section. So then it started. So first meeting happened on 9th December 1946, where according to the French practice, Dr. Sachidananda Sinha was elected as the first temporary president of Constituent Assembly. On 9th December, it had its first session, right? So, because according to the French practice, oldest member of the house will be considered as a temporary member. Like how we have the senior citizenship, like pro tem speaker will be the based on seniority in the house. Same is the concept also. Then on 11th December 1946, we have elected first president of Constituent Assembly, that is Rajendra Prasad. Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected as a first president of this particular Constituent Assembly, which is mainly there to develop the constitution. Then it has formed 13 committees, and especially among the 13 committees, we have an important committee called Drafting Committee, headed by Dr. Ambedkar, B.R. Ambedkar, and we also have 6 other members part of it, right? So 6 plus Ambedkar, we have totally this 7 members as part of Drafting Committee, and they have taken the task of drafting the constitution. So it was not an easy task, right? So they have consulted many countries, almost 60 plus countries were consulted, and again, you know, they have incurred almost 64 lakh rupees in preparing the constitution, and it has taken 2 years, 11 months, 18 days to prepare the constitution, right? So we have taken different features from different countries. So you also have to check in those countries and the related provisions which we have borrowed. But most of the important provisions were borrowed from Government of India Act 1935. This will be the foundation stone of Indian Constitution, because we already have the familiarity with this particular act when we are under British rule. That is the reason why many of the provisions were directly incorporated from 1935 Government of India Act. Right? So this is also one thing which we have to keep in mind. Then who actually drafted? It is a drafting committee. And then who actually have written the provisions of the constitution means Bihari Narain. Okay, so that person has drafted the constitution, you can say, and the artistic work that was done by Nandalal Bose. So originally in which particular language the constitution was written and in which particular thing it was translated, please let me know in the comment section. Then what is the most important aspect you have to keep in mind is the constitutionalism or constitutionality is important. So constitutionalism as a topic or an ideology is very much important, because according to the constitution, there's a clear division of powers among the different sectors or the organs of the government, like legislature, executive and judiciary. So anytime these things have to be exercised within that particular domain only. So that means all the time constitutionalism is trying to give that authority to the constitution above everything, right? That means even legislature is not supreme in India, executive is not supreme, or judiciary is not supreme. But in Britain Parliament, it is the Parliament which is supreme. But in India, it is the constitution, it is supreme. Rather, if there is another option, then the people of India will be the most supreme authority in the country. So these are the main important things which you have to keep in mind, right? So then let us see the practice question for the day. Which of the following provisions of the constitution were given immediate effect on 26 November 1949? So among these, which you feel the correct option, let me know in the comment section. Then today, as part of the concept of the day series, we have seen what is the process of making of the constitution. So we have seen that there is a constituent assembly that has taken up the task, and that constituent assembly was also a partly elected and partly nominated body. So after partition and all the related things, we have effectively 284 members, so who are actually part of the constituent assembly, and they were divided into different committees. And drafting committee is mainly responsible for the drafting of the constitutional provisions. And we also have to remember about the important features of the original constitution along with all other important facts. So this is all with respect to today's video. If you like the video and found informative, let me know in the comment section. Thanks for joining. All the very best.